Welcome to today's total body strength training workout. For today's workout, we'll be using dumbbells. I have quite a lot of choices because we'll be working a lot of different muscle groups. So you may find that you want different weights for different exercises. Grab whatever you have. And then I also have a resistance band. I've got this anchored off to the side. You'll see in a few minutes, we're gonna be doing 2 strength exercises with that band, but there's always an option if you don't have a band or a place to anchor it. I'll show you a couple of alternatives, so don't worry. Final thing I've got is a towel. One of the exercises we're doing today, we're going to be kneeling on one knee, and if you've got tender knees and want a little extra cushion, grab a towel or just a folded up sweatshirt or whatever, and then let's get ready to go with our warm-up. So join me on your back. Just find a comfortable position and give yourself a moment to just check in. Maybe doing a little bit of a body scan. Just noticing if you're carrying tension in your jaw, your neck, your shoulders, and just sort of let your tongue drop off the roof of your mouth. Let your shoulders come down. Maybe give yourself a little smile as you inhale and then exhale and just find a bit more ease within your torso, your hips. I know we're here to work out, to get sweaty, to challenge ourselves, and to elevate the intensity within our body. But I want to start from a place of feeling grounded and centered and focused. And so giving yourself this time to just check in, focus on a few nice calm breaths, finding that peaceful space within yourself so that you can focus on why you're here, maybe set an intention. Go ahead and just let that body scan make its way all the way down to your feet, wiggling your toes, noticing your ankles. And with that, let's bring the backs of your hands to the floor. So if you're feeling particularly tight and the backs of your arms don't come to rest on the floor of your hands, that's totally okay. Just kind of find whatever space you can. We're gonna start to go into a hip twist. So if your arms aren't resting, you can maybe find another position where you just feel like there's a good stretch for you as you let your knees drop to one side and then the other side. And then maybe we do start to kind of glide our arms up and overhead and then come back down as we pass through center, doing this little slide movement with our arms. So again, we're just starting our gentle warm-up. Checking in, notice where you feel sticky spots, if you notice pain anywhere or you notice anything that feels particularly restricted or tight. Please feel free to pause and take a little bit of extra time with that joint or that area of your body. You can grab your foam roller, do some extra stretches, and come back to this. But from here, we're going to come onto our side. We'll continue to mobilize our hips and shoulders. So bringing top knee forward, you're going to anchor that to the ground. Fingertips come to meet. We're just going to draw a half circle over our head, reaching your arm in as big a circle as you can without letting that top knee lift off the ground. So let that be your anchor as we do this 3 or 4 times. Pausing in any bits of this where you need just a little extra time. This one usually feels really nice, especially if you spend a lot of time at a desk or driving and your chest feels a little bit tight and restricted. So definitely take your time with this. All right, setting back up for the other side. Reaching up and around. So good. Just letting this feel good. We spend a lot of time pushing ourselves and pushing through and powering through, and let's just enjoy the elements that feel really good and supportive to our bodies. So I think this is number 4 for me on this side. Might have gotten a couple extra. Okay, we're gonna come to hands and knees now. Shake out the shoulders, make sure your neck feels nice and long, and we're gonna start to do some big hip rotations. So think about the ball and socket joint that you've got at your hip, and just kind of visualize moving your femur around in as big a circle as possible. And let's reverse the direction of that circle. See if you can do a big circle without dropping into your belly a little bit. So like we don't want to like let our belly sag. We don't want to let our elbows sag. We want to stay nice and long through our arms. We want to stay nice and long through our spine. So let's do the other side. So shaking that out, pull your ribs up nice and tight. We want to kick that heel back. And just think about too your glute working. So you've got your glute muscles kind of working to pull your leg up into space. And we've got our core working to stabilize our torso. Let's reverse that. So this is sort of our entry into some activation exercises that we're about to do. We want to get all of those major muscle groups active and working and awake. So just start to notice them now. Feel free to unload the wrists. Take a quick child's pose. Breathe in and let it go. And then we're going to come back onto our back. So getting a little bit more intensity with our activation drills. Let's go into some bridging. So make sure your knees, hips, and toes are all in line as if they're on railroad tracks, and start to press the entire sole of your shoe into the ground. So as you do that, open up your hip. I like to say take all the wrinkles out of the front of your pants or your shorts. So as you press up, you want to open up and then squeeze the glutes. Let's do one more like that, and then we're going to add a little rotation to this. So as you bridge up, I want you to lift one arm, roll onto the opposite shoulder, and reach. Okay, come back down. So for the first couple, we're going to go nice and slow so that we're really allowing that stretch, that lengthening. And then let's try a few more at a little quicker tempo, okay? So we're just going to reach and come down, reach and come down, reach, reach. One more each side, and reach. Okay, so hopefully glutes are on, shoulders are getting a little bit of energy. We're going to now go into a little bit more core activation. So I always like to start really gentle. Take a big breath for me. Exhale, press your rib cage down, feel the floor under your low back, and then let's start to march the legs. So I don't need your low back pressing firmly down, but you should be able to feel that that space between your low back and the floor isn't changing. So we're not arching and then coming back down. So take a few of these gentle marches for me and make sure everything's going well. And if it is, then let's make this a little bit bigger. So straight legs, you can always go nice and slow and easy, one leg at a time. But I like to make this a stretch and strength exercise. So we're gonna do this little scissor stretch. If you've ever done Pilates, this is probably kind of familiar. So I'm gently stretching on my up leg, and then as my other leg lowers, I'm using the strength of my abs to control that movement and to bring my leg back up. Head can be up, lifted like mine, or you can rest on the floor. Let's go for 3, for 2, and last 1. Good. Give your knees a little hug. Maybe rock side to side if your low back ever feels stressed during core exercises. Just give it a little love. And then we're going to come onto our knee half kneeling position. So if you have that towel or a pad, if you're feeling a little sensitive in your knees, we won't be here too long right now, but we are going to do a little hip flexor stretch. So again, opening up the front side of the hip, squeeze your glute. I want you to reach your arm towards your forward leg side. So we're just getting a nice lengthening through that whole side body. And then stay on this side for me. Tuck your toe. I want you to exhale hard. Remember how we braced our core when we were on the floor. Press up all the way up off the ground. And then we're going to come back down. Hover that knee, or maybe very, very, very gently come all the way down. But we're just going to start to really get active. This is a preview of some of the movement we'll be doing with our weights. So start to make this muscle-mind connection. Okay, let's do one more. And then come down and we'll do the other side. Okay, so same thing, squeeze your glute, shift forward, open up the front side of the hip, and we're gonna start to reach our arm, creating nice length, opening up the lungs, getting some space between the ribs, maximizing that oxygen flow. Okay, tuck your toe, zip up your abs like a corset. So imagine your rib cage kind of coming together here in the front. Exhale and push the floor away. All right, if you need to reset like I did, kind of get your stance organized. Notice if it feels like you're on railroad tracks. This shouldn't feel like you're on a balance beam. So front view, your legs are hip width apart, okay? So if it felt like you were really teetering, try maybe taking your legs out to hip width and see if that feels a bit better. So yeah, coming all the way down, maybe just gently grazing the floor or just hovering just above it. Last one, and then let's just shake the legs out, maybe shake the torso out. We're gonna practice a little bit of balance work. So coming onto one leg, I'll show you side view first. We're going to do a single leg hinge. So core stays nice and tight, spine is long. We're gonna reach one heel out and then come back to standing. And I want you to add a little rotation to this. So I'm balancing on my left leg. I'm gonna reach my right fingertips towards my left toes. So my shoulders get to rotate just a little bit. So reaching, if you wobble, that's okay. We're just sort of like waking up the hamstrings now. You should feel a nice stretch and then activation as you stand up tall. All right, let's repeat that on the other side. So I like to give that working leg a little bounce, like, okay, it's your turn. You're on notice. Time to work. So inhale, reach. Work on getting those shoulders to rotate a bit. I've been working on my golf game lately, and no matter how much mobility work I do, I'm always amazed at how challenging it is to really get my shoulders to rotate into the position I want. So I always try to incorporate rotational work into my workouts to help me be a little bit better with that. Okay, so shake out those arms one more time. We're gonna come to the end of our mat, big breath in, dive down, give the hamstrings a little stretch out, and then we're gonna walk to a plank. Okay, so from here, you can choose to just hold the plank, stay here and breathe, keep those ribs nice and tight, or join me with an arm lift. So as you lift your arm, I want you to think about your shoulder blade dropping down towards your waist. So instead of scrunching our shoulder up towards our ear, we want to think about that shoulder sliding down and back. Let's do a couple more. Oh yeah, we're almost done with our warm-up. So if you're starting to feel a little bit breathless, getting a little bit more of that like, ooh, okay, I'm working, that's good, that's what we want. Okay, we're gonna come back to that single leg hinge. I'm gonna show you the side view first. No rotation this time. We're gonna hinge, and then we're gonna catch our toe and squat. So let's do 6. And I like to start getting my arms involved. So as you hinge, squeeze your triceps, pump your arms back. Let's do a couple more. And last one on this side. Okay, other side. So put that leg on notice, hinge, and drop it down. And I have to find something on the floor that's not moving to stare at so that I don't lose my balance. So that helps. Find a little spot on the floor that you can look at and make this our last one. And then final little activation drill, getting our nervous system really awake. We're just gonna hop in place side to side for 4, 3, 2, 1. Catch your breath. One more time. One more like that. Ready? 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. Tiny shoelaces that keep untied. Grab a sip of water. We are going to grab our weights. We've got 3 sets. We are going to actually keep each set the same. So if you've worked out with me before, a lot of times I'll offer like an entry level, level 1, and then level up over the course of 3 rounds. This workout, we're just gonna stick with some tried and true classics. We're gonna keep them the same, but I want you to think about how you can level it up every single time. So maybe you're gonna go for a form personal best, or maybe you're gonna start with light weights and grab a set of heavier weights. So have that in your mind as we go through the first set. It's really gonna be your workout, okay? Our first exercise is a reverse lunge. We're going to be doing 6 for each leg. That's not a ton of reps. So if you have heavy weights there, please grab them. So we're going to be just lunging to the back. Same rules I mentioned before. Make sure it feels like you're on railroad tracks. Okay, so I'm going to start with my heavies. Join me now. Let's stay on one leg at a time. So I'm going to start with my right leg. Shoulders drop down and back. Zip up your ribs like you've got a corset on. Step it back and then push through your forward leg. So stepping back, nice big step. You want it to feel like you're approximately at 290-degree angles in your knees at the bottom. So stepping back, loading the front leg, making that front leg work. Couple more. We're going at a nice steady tempo. Ugh. This might be 7 for me. Do you laugh so hard at how I can't count? Okay, cannot count. Drop the shoulders down and back. I'm going to give you the side view for this next set. So other leg, step it back, land softly, push the floor away. Inhale back, exhale, press the floor. You got this. If we're off by a rep or two, it's not going to change the world. It's not going to change anything. We're going to get sweaty. We're going to get our muscles working. This is so great for our hormones, our metabolism, everything. Okay, so that's our first exercise. Next exercise, I'm going to use my towel because we will be kneeling. We're going to be doing a half kneeling overhead press, just one arm at a time. So if you haven't done an overhead press in a while, take a guess, grab something that feels challenging, and know you have 2 more sets so you can make adjustments. So ribs are tight, squeeze the glute on the back leg, make a fist with your free arm, and press. You want to end with your bicep right next to your ear, okay? So if you feel some limitations in your shoulder, you might want to make some adjustments, maybe go a little bit lighter, maybe do a little mobility work right now to help that shoulder get into a little better position. But yeah, aiming for that vertical arm at the top and then coming down with control. And again, we're doing 6 per side. So I hope that was 6. If anyone can figure out how to talk and count at the same time, please leave a comment and let me know. All right, squeeze your glute. Ribs are tight. Press. Making a fist with this free hand really helps close down any energy leaks. So if you've got kind of like loose areas where energy is leaking out, that actually makes it harder to recruit your strength for the exercise you want to do. So you want to keep everything engaged and working. Molly can think of some things for me to do with this free hand. Okay, bonus rep. I think that's a bonus rep. Okay, set them down. And then we're going to go back to another single side exercise. Grab the heaviest weight that you have. So let me get this out of the way. We're going to do a version of that single leg hinge that we did in the warm-up. So in the warm-up, we let that back leg lift off. For this one, we're going to do a kickstand. So I want you to center your weight over one leg and take your other toe back like a kickstand. Hopefully you can see that. Drop your shoulder down and back. So the kickstand side is where I'm holding my weight. I'm going to reach that weight towards my toes and then drive my hip forward. So on this working leg, I'm loading my hamstring. I'm leading with my hip. My hip is traveling back behind me, and then I'm driving my hip forward, pushing the ground away, really feeling my heel pushing into the ground. So think about all those things as you get that slight rotation in, and then we'll switch to the other side. So again, put that leg on notice. Drop the shoulder down and back. You've got your kickstand here. So just super light, but you're still connected to the ground. Reach towards your toes and drive your hip forward. Inhale, reach. Exhale, drive. You got this. Inhale. Exhale. Oh my goodness. I don't know why I let these guys in with me all the time, but I don't really know if I have a choice. So if you've seen my other videos, it's basically like a Where's Waldo, but it's Where's Wyatt and Molly. Okay, we're about to get into our band work. So set your weight down, catch your breath. I'll show you this one. I've got this anchored down nice and low. I want you to picture what it would be like if you were on a pull-up bar. So the movement is in that vertical plane. It's basically the opposing movement to that overhead press we just did. Molly, I'm gonna need this spot. Okay, so we're gonna lie down on our belly. Squeeze your glutes gently, tuck your chin, nose is pointing straight to the ground, and we're gonna pull the band straight down and then lengthen the arms out. So exhale, pull, inhale, control the band on both sides of the movement. So think about making that band go slowly back to where you started. If your band feels too easy, like if you are not using a band with quite a bit of resistance, hopefully maybe you have some space, you can move a little farther away from your anchor. Okay, next one, we're gonna use the band again in a seated position. So come to your seat, drop your shoulders down and back, flip your palms up. Now we're gonna bring the biceps into 90 degrees position and lean back. And then control, with the strength of your abs, control that return to your starting position. And I'm sitting pretty far away from my anchor, and I hope you can see how much my arms are shaking. Double check that your shoulders aren't creeping up. This is when, depending on the intensity, you might add a few extra reps. I sometimes do up to 10 of these, but I also often use a lighter band. So we'll see how long I last. And last one. Boom. So, shake that out. We've got a lot of upper body here. So that was upper body and core combined. Let your arms rest a minute, and I'll show you the next exercise. I'm going to go with one of my slightly lighter weights because we're doing an overhead tricep press. Okay? So I'm actually going to do both at the same time. I'm going to kind of glue my weights together, press them straight up and over. Now knit your ribs together again so you can reach those weights behind your head and press straight up. So inhale down, exhale, press. So watch out that your elbows are staying fairly parallel. If you're noticing that your elbows are flaring way out to the side, work on wrapping them in towards your head. Oh yeah. And again, depending on the weights that you're using, you might feel the burn after 5 or 6, or it might take you 8, 10, 12 reps. So you do you, get that satisfying burn, and that concludes round 1. So go ahead and set those down. And I do want to point out, this is a slightly upper body heavy circuit, but I have a finisher for us. That's all legs. So don't worry. Don't be afraid to go heavy now. Go heavy on the legs, and then know we're going to be working really hard at the end. So grab water if you need it. Clear your space if you need to. And we're going to go back to our reverse lunges. So grab your heavy weights. So now you know the drill. You've had practice. Now it's time to sink your teeth in. Grab a heavier weight. Go for that form personal best, okay? So sink down, push the floor away, squeeze your glutes at the top. You want to feel this in your quads, your glutes, your hamstrings. Nice gentle landing. And then push the floor away to return to standing. Okay, other side. Step it back, push the floor. Exhale hard. Lunges are such a great movement. You get so many benefits from lunges, and they apply to so many activities of daily living. So it's important to keep exercises like lunges in all of your workouts, at least once a week. All right, boom, okay. Set those down. Now we're going back to our overhead press. So depending on how you felt with the first side, you can choose to keep the same weight. I'm going to go ahead and keep the same weight, or you can choose to upgrade or downgrade. Go with what you know you can do with your best form and feel challenged at the same time. So ribs together, squeeze that back leg glute. We're pressing up and pulling that weight back down. I like to imagine that my weight is attached to a resistance band hanging from the ceiling. So I have to actually pull it
to come back down, and I'm not only feeling the resistance on the way up. So give yourself that little visual, imagining that you're pulling right here, down, 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 against resistance. Totally changes the exercise. Okay, reset for the other side. Exhale, press. Inhale, pull it down. Work on a nice smooth tempo. Notice if you've got areas where your body kind of wants to rush through the movement, that could reveal where you've got a bit of weakness, because usually we'll try to use momentum. So just pay attention to that. That could be an area where you're like, oh, right there, maybe try to go really extra slow, just consciously through that spot to force your muscles to work a little bit harder in that spot. Okay, back to our kickstand. Kickstand RDL. We're going pretty quick. Please take care of your body. Make sure that you're recovering enough between exercises that you can do them with good form, okay? I'm going to do side view this time. So working my left leg, weight is in my right hand, shoulders down and back, ribs are tight. Reach and drive. Inhale, exhale. Again, thinking about your hamstrings. Hamstrings are working. Core is working. Shoulders have to work. We're getting some good grip practice here. All right. Reset for the other side. You get to rest your grip on that non-working hand. Inhale down. Exhale, drive that hip forward. Again, noticing the contact your heel makes with the floor and how you can use that power from the floor to drive your hip forward. Inhale back. Exhale, drive. You got it. Okay, I think that was 6. Keep me honest. You can do an extra one if I missed one. Okay, getting back in position for our overhead pull. Glutes and hammies get to rest. Shake out your hips. Squeeze the glutes to like 30 or 40% here just to stabilize. Tuck your chin. Exhale. Think about pulling your thumb to your collarbone. So I know that you want to look at the screen right now, but do point your nose straight down. That takes care of your neck. Imagine you're hanging from a bar, pulling your chin up above the bar. So thumb towards your collarbone and control the band on the way back. And I'm going to make that my last one for that exercise. And then reset for my biceps, bicep lean backs. Okay. Hopefully you found this one good and challenging. I was shaking on the last set. So you can adjust, again, farther away from your anchor. If you don't have a band, I apologize, I didn't offer this on the first round. You can do a bicep curl, standing up or kneeling, okay? So that's your option. Grab your weights and do a bicep curl, or join me here, 90 degrees, lean back, and slide forward with control. Notice my spine angle isn't changing. Notice my elbows are lifted off my torso. So my biceps have to work this whole time. My wrists are flat. I call these the Wonder Woman wrists. Think about like having your superhero cuffs on. Yeah. Ugh. Okay, the shaking is so real, you guys. So real. I'm regretting this is the only band I gave myself for this workout. So shake it out. Shake it out. And then we're going to go to our tricep press. Let's see. All right. So shoulders are down and back. I'm going to glue those weights to each other. You could do 2 weights, or you could even hold one heavier weight and do it holding it with 2 hands. So I'll show you the side view this time. So watch out for any backward leaning. I want arms straight, chin tucked, squeezing the glutes, ribs are tight. We're going to lower and press, working on keeping the arms parallel. So we should feel our triceps working, but the rest of our body is like we're in a standing plank position, right? So stability, stability, stability. And again, depending on what weights you're using, you might need more or less reps here. So tailor this to be what you need. I'm using, moderately heavy weights. So 6 to 8 reps is plenty for me on the triceps. But again, make this what you need, okay? All right, so quick water break before we hit round 3. Same rules. We're doing the exact same set. So if you have ideas about improving your form, going heavier, maybe adding a couple extra reps, really make this count. This is it for the strength workout before we get to our quick finisher. So we do want to leave a little bit in the tank, but I really want you to maximize the potential of every exercise on this set. So let's go to our reverse lunges, okay? Pick a leg, tuck your chin, step back, and press the floor away. Inhale, land that foot nice and soft behind you. You got this. And of course, if you're starting to get tired, you can absolutely drop the weights and do body weight only. Just keep moving. Stay with your body. Stay with yourself. You gave yourself this time. So you can always take extra breaks. You can always, like I said, do body weight or swap out for another exercise that you know is going to be beneficial to you in this moment. So inhale back, exhale, press the floor. You got it. And last couple. See how low you can go. Really making these nice and deep and active. Boom. Okay. All right. I'm going to go for it on my overhead press. I'm going to use a heavier weight than I did on my first 2 sets. I'm going to start on my non-dominant side. So I'm right-handed. I'm going to start on my left because chances are my left arm will burn out faster than my right. So if I only get to like 5, then I'll match that on my other side. I could even grab my lighter weight and finish my set. But I want to make sure I do even work on both sides. So squeezing the glutes, ribs are tight. Exhale, press, and bring it down. So I want to show you a couple hacks. If you're like me and you're working with a heavier weight and you want to help yourself out to really begin to lean into that heavier work, I'm assisting myself with my free hand, spotting myself as I come down. So that's a way to start to lean into that heavier weight when maybe you're like, gosh, I'm not totally ready, or I'm getting a bit fatigued, but I still really want to go for it. I want to try it. I want to get stronger. So that's a way to kind of ease your weight into that heavier weight. So that's why I like single-sided exercises when you're kind of teetering into that heavier work. So exhale, press. Now, watch out as you get tired, like I am. I'm getting a little bit of fatigue on set 3, and I'm working with a heavier weight. So watch your alignment. Watch your form. Make sure your core is staying on. Yeah. Ugh. Yeah, it's really easy to start to lose a little bit of that crispness of our form as we start to get more tired. And it's also, when we're challenging ourselves, we want to be really careful because as important as it is to get stronger and challenge ourselves, we also don't want to injure ourselves by losing our core engagement and all of that. So finish that set, catch your breath, find that heavy weight again. Let's kick one toe out for our kickstand RDL. So ribs tight, shoulders are down and back. Here we go. Reach and drive. Inhale, exhale. Regulating the tempo of your breathing. This is a way movement can start to be a bit meditative. So especially as we start to round the corner towards the final stages of this workout, I really encourage you to stay with your breath. Really focus on that. Even inhale and exhale. Okay, so ribs tight, resetting that shoulder. Here we go. Little twist in the torso. Super nice. Breathing in, breathing out. Maybe let your mind focus on your why. Why do you do this? What's the bigger reason? We know we're supposed to work out. We know we're supposed to lift weights. But what in your life makes that matter, right? What makes it matter? What would be worse in your life if you weren't fit, if you lost your health? And what could be better if your health improved? All those things. Okay, so I do want to show you an option really quick before we go to our overhead pull down with the band. And my apologies, I got so into our routine, I forgot to show this on the first 2 sets. So my deepest apologies. And if you don't have a band handy, you can do an overhead pull with the dumbbell on your back. So if the band wasn't working for you super great, or if you just want an alternative, this is what it looks like. For everyone who's using the band, let's go. Flip to your belly. Final set here. You got this. Ribs tight. Tuck your chin. Pull to your collarbone and release with control. Pull and release. Imagine that satisfaction you feel when you're just randomly able to grab a pull-up bar and just do a quick pull-up. So satisfying. If that feels really, really out of reach for you right now, please keep doing these exercises and then promise me that you'll tell me what happens when you try one and you do one, because it really is maybe one of the best feelings in the world, and I bet you're a lot stronger than you think you are. So just keep working, keep getting stronger. These bicep lean backs will help you as well. So shoulders down and back, ribs are tight. I'm inching a little closer to my anchor point, y'all. Okay, so keep that 90-degree angle, lean back, and then with control, return. Exhale, lean back. Inhale, return. You got this. A couple more. Oh my gosh. Ugh. This is real. I'm not dramatizing it. I am shaken. Okay, I'm going to do a bonus one because it's the last set. Okay. Shake it out, shake it out. All right, final set of our triceps. Here we go. All right, glue those weights together. Arms up overhead. Again, side view is here. Squeeze your glutes. Ribs are tucked. Bend at the elbow and press. Working on parallel arms. If you're using 2 weights that are touching, make sure you're feeling this equally in both arms. Okay, it's harder to do separate weights, but you could test yourself out and see how that feels. So you get a little more stability by gluing those weights together. Okay, water break time. Oh my goodness, I'm sweating. This works. Every time it works. Okay, so we've got a quick finisher to do. 2 rounds, sets of 10, both exercises. So the first one, you can do with body weight only, or you can grab a dumbbell. I'm gonna probably grab some dumbbells. But body weight only looks like this. We're gonna do triples. 1, 2, 3 little pulses, and then cross into a drop lunge. So 1, 2, 3, and drop, okay? So we're gonna do 10 on the other side as well. And then we're gonna go onto our back and do a marching single leg bridge, 10 on each side, okay? All right, I'm just gonna grab something light. I'm gonna grab a 10-pound weight just to hold in my hands while I do this. Drop your shoulders down and back, let's do it. So make sure your knees are lining up with your toes as you do this movement. I need somebody in here to help me count. I wish my dogs could do that. And this is 4. Oh my goodness, we're gonna get the burn. I told you the legs would not feel cheated by the end of this workout. But don't worry, we're gonna stretch too. And drop. And drop. Okay, I think we have 2 more. You can definitely correct me if I'm wrong. Make sure you get your 10. Okay, other side. Hope that leg is burning for you. Triples. And drop it back. 3, 2, 1, drop. 3, 2, 1, drop. Oh yeah. And 3, again, body weight is fine. You got this. I call this a burnout. It's a finisher. We want to finish off the muscles. Okay, 2 more, I think. I know, you're going to kill me if I'm like overdoing it. Last one. Okay. And onto our backs. Here we go. Drive. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 5 and 6, 7, 8, 9. You're welcome for counting. Last one each side. Boom. Okay. How we doing? Let's do one more set. You got this. Okay, ready? 1. We're doing the triples again. 2. Little pulse. It's like a little bounce, but I want you to keep the muscles under tension the whole time. 4, 5. Here we go. 6. Step it back. 7. Almost there. 8. 9. Keep focused on that Y. I know this is hard right now. I know your muscles are burning. You're dreaming about the stretch break. Yes, you earned it. We're almost there. Just one more side to go. One more set of our glute bridges. You got this. Boom. You got it. 6 more. 5, 4, 3. Smile to your body right now. If you're still moving, there's so much right with you. So much more right than there is wrong with you. So celebrate every single bit. Woo, last one. And step it back. Okay, on our backs. We're gonna go right into stretching after this, so celebrate that. Okay, ready? Bridge up. 1, 2. Squeeze that glute. Press through your heel. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Oh, good job. Whew. If you're using weight, set it to the side. Cross your ankle over your opposite knee. Reach through the window. Hug it in. Whew. I hope you're dripping like I am. I am so sweaty. My muscles feel great. Everything worked. So let's straighten one leg, that bottom leg. Straighten and bend a few times, and then let's go to the other side. Please take your time stretching. That was a pretty demanding workout. So our stretch will be relatively brief, but please, please, please know that your body might appreciate a little bit more, maybe some foam rolling. So please take your time to do those things and take care of your body today. So let's come onto our side. Let's go into a little hamstring stretch and cross your arm in front of your chest. So I'm just going to stretch my shoulder and then lean slightly forward, and I'll feel that stretch in my hamstring as well. So take a moment. If you're sweaty, if you're breathing hard, if you feel that like buzz of energy in your body, just recognize all of those signs, the significance of how you changed your state. You changed your body. You changed your mental state. Hopefully, your physical state is feeling more energy, more aliveness. Even if it's feeling fatigue and soreness, it's like, wow, I'm able to do that. I'm able to put that effort out there and do all of those things, those challenging things that I asked my body to do, and that's pretty cool. So let's reach one arm up and overhead. Catch your elbow. Just gently pull down to stretch your tricep. Take a nice, easy breath in. Other side, let it out. I thank you for joining me. And I thank you for joining me. I hope this workout left you feeling energized, elevated, and inspired for the rest of your day.